If you're looking for a fun drone, the DJI Neo 2 might be the drone for you. This is a drone that I've used mainly as an FPV drone with the motion controller 3 and the goggles, and I really enjoyed my flights with it. It only weighs 160 grams with the transceiver attached to it. It is a little more than the DJI Neo 1, but it does a lot of cool things that the DJI Neo 1 doesn't do. In fact, I just mentioned the transceiver. Let me just get this out of the way. You get this in the combo. You have 4 screws that you can screw at the back. It gives you the USB-C port back here, which is what you're going to be using to download your files. I'm going to tell you more about that in a moment. But what this does basically is that it allows you to connect this to the goggles, to the motion controller, to a remote, or anything you're going to be using other than your phone. It gives you an extra range, and without this little piece here, you will not be able to do any of what I just talked about. Without getting too much into specs, like always, I just want to mention the fact that it has a 1/2 inch sensor with a fixed aperture of f2.2, which is pretty bright. 1/2 inch sensor is not the best. I mean, if you want something a little bigger, an inch, for example, you can get the Avata 2 or the Avata 360, which will give you a little better quality, especially when you go in low light, it's gonna be better for you. But 1/2 inch is okay if you're flying in a well-lit environment. Speaking of colors and video, you will not get any flat profile in this drone. My guess is that DJI didn't include it because they would cannibalize the rest of their drones. Honestly, if you add flat profile to this drone, it starts being really, really interesting professionally as well. As of right now though, what you see is what you get. So you're not gonna be able to do a lot of color grading. You can maybe add some LUTs, some looks on top of the existing footage that you will get, but you will not get any log on this drone. You can take stills, 12 megapixels, not a lot, but honestly, in this world of always pushing the megapixels to get some good holiday shots or whatever, even, I mean, you could also use it professionally. Personally, I wouldn't because it's not enough for what I do, but you know, to take some holiday shots or some family shots, I think it's plenty of enough. Video-wise, you can shoot up to 4K 60p or 4K 100p if you're using a remote control or the motion controller. I think 4K 60p is enough for pretty much anyone, but if you want to do extra slow-mo, having 100 frames per second gives you a little extra flexibility. The DJI Neo 1, on the other hand, could only shoot up to 4K 30p, so having 60 is really good. There are 49 gigs of internal storage, and you have no way of putting a micro SD in this drone, which is a little bit of a drawback to me. I like to have the flexibility of having both, but 49 gigs of internal storage, and then you have a little USB-C here or at the back, you plug it to your computer, doesn't even need a battery to download the files. It is quick, it works, and I mean, same difference really. DJI claims 19 minutes of flight time. Now DJI, I mean, they do test in a very controlled environment. They can't test everything out. So yes, you might squeeze 19 minutes out of it, but I find it hard to believe, to be honest, because it depends on a lot of factors. Are you going to be flying in normal mode? Are you going to be just hovering, flying slowly? Depends on the speed, how much juice that requires. Is there going to be any wind where you're flying? Are you going to fly in sports mode? Are you going to fly in FPV mode with the FPV controller? I mean, there are different factors. Personally, flying in sports mode with the motion controller at a fast pace, I'd say that I can squeeze out maybe 8-9 minutes out of this battery, something like that. And if you're flying hardcore FPV, maybe even less. The good news though is if you get the Fly More combo, that's not much more expensive. You get 3 batteries that will give you extra flight time outdoors. And I think you can squeeze maybe half an hour between the 3. The other good thing is that they charge really, really quick, and you can charge them all 3 at the same time with one USB-C port. That means that even if you run out of juice, you stop to drink a coffee, you recharge them and you go out to fly again. Now, there are a few things that are really cool about this drone. For example, the fact that you can launch it from your hand. I got my son to do that too. He was a little scared at first, and me too, to be honest, but trust the technology, it works. And if they promote it, means you can. You have propeller protection, so nothing's gonna happen. And it just goes and does whatever you want because you have a little screen, little display here that shows you the different modes. You can control it with gestures. You can connect it to your phone, pair it, and it takes no time to turn it on from the app. It's really, really quick. Cool, fun process. And I mean, they came a long way. DJI came a long way. That's not what I want to talk about in this video. I'm going to now tell you more about the motion controller in FPV mode. The ascend and descend maximum speed in normal mode is 11 kilometers per hour, and in sports mode, it's 18 kilometers per hour. So that's how fast you can go up and down. The horizontal speed, on the other hand, in normal mode, the max speed is 29 kilometers per hour, and in sports mode, you can go up to 43 kilometers per hour, which is not bad at all. I mean, if you think about it, that's pretty fast. In fact, some of the footage you see here was shot in sports mode with the goggles and the motion controller 3 that I have here. You can really control this drone easily. It is the drone that I had the most joy, pleasure, and enjoyment controlling because it is so small and very responsive. You can really take sharp turns, almost like if you were flying with an FPV. Obviously, this is not a real FPV experience with a regular FPV controller. That would take me years to learn, but I say it in all my videos about FPV drones from DJI. This motion controller takes you a few minutes to get used to. I love to fly real low to the ground and then take sharp turns and go above flowers, plants, and so forth. I did crash a couple of times. I did run into, a tree and stuff like that, but it is so small and so compact and so well protected that it just bumps against it and off you go. You just dust it off, get back in the air. You can get these goggles when you purchase the drone. It is the same concept. You see a little dot on the image and then you just move around, and when you press it accelerates. You can put a micro SD card, by the way, in your goggles like you could with every other drone before that. That will record what you see in your goggles. That way, in case something happens and your drone crashes, you can go back and see the last point where you were to go and find it. Now, in terms of drawbacks, I think the only drawback really is the fact that there's no flat profile and that the sensor is half an inch. It's actually quite small. But at the same time, it is a small drone, so you can't ask too much from it if you want to keep it compact and you want to be able to fly pretty much anywhere with it. I will be doing a video in these coming days about real estate. I'll be flying this guy indoors to see how good it performs, to see if you can fly easily, if it does anything crazy or not, because some of you might be interested to use a little tool like this indoors. Now, how is it when you're in low light? How is the quality? Can it perform properly, or is the quality going to be really bad? You'll find out. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss that video. Until then, take care, keep flying cool drones, and let me know if you have any question. I'll answer it gladly. Take care.